Hey everybody, Tekking101 here, here to review Bleach chapter number 683, titled The Dark Side of the Moon. The Dark Side of Two World Ends. I guess I got Pink Floyd on the brain. Why wouldn't you title it that? Kubo's whole thing is like music oriented, like that's what he names every chapter, as if they would be like tracks on a CD. But then again, I guess the whole Dark Side of the Moon was Kubo's thing in Soul Eater. Does anyone remember Soul Eater? I miss Soul Eater. So the chapter opens up with a breathtaking view of the Zenzaikyu Tower. Wow, it has been a long time since we've seen that place. Remember the good old days? Rukia is about to get executed by a giant flaming phoenix thing, and Ichigo had to go rescue her. That was a crazy summer, let me tell you. I got some pics here, you know? Oh, sweet memories. Good times. Good times. And those good times are about to be dropped into an endless black void as Yhwach's shadow begins to envelop the entire tower. And keep in mind, this thing is, like, huge. It's like the centerpiece of the entire Seirete. It's like the largest point. So the shadows overtaking it, kind of a big deal. If the shadows haven't already overtaken it, like, twice when the Seirete was transformed into the Vandente. Whatever, it's really cool and foreboding. In the process, the Sokyoku Hill gets completely destroyed. Oh my god, Kubo, you're just wrecking all the most famous scenes of this series. Although, great little artistic point, we still see the hole in the Sokyoku Hill that Ichigo made. Remember that shit? When he's on the scaffolding, and, you know, Rukia's like, how are we gonna get down from here? And Ichigo, like, spins Zangetsu in the air, like that one time he's ever done it. And then he stabs it down, and it's like an omnidirectional Getsuga that goes straight down and blasts a hole right in the fucking hill, right through the scaffolding. Yeah, he never did that again, which I wonder why. Like, you'd think that would be a massively useful technique, to just stab Zangetsu in the ground and then, like, 360 degrees, just blast radius. Just, no, I'm never gonna do that again. It's cool. But yeah, it's cool that he put that in there just to call back to the Soul Society arc. Alright, so we see Ichigo basically swimming in the black part of the pool because the entire ground is now covered with Yhwach's shadows. He's looking pretty exasperated. Yhwach's just kind of doing the slow Terminator walk to him, like, dun 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 dun. Hey, Ichigo, it's your own life, and I don't mean to pry, but didn't you have, like, a busty high school girl that could heal any wound? Whatever happened to that? Oh, hey, that's the same thing I brought up last chapter. Maybe Yhwach's on the same wavelength as me. Or maybe he is me. I should probably bring up at this point that this chapter contains a very large amount of Aizen mindfuckery, so nothing is what it seems. Even this is not what it seems. Right, anyway, Yhwach theorizes that it's either because Orihime was either too injured and she was already on death's door, she couldn't heal him. Obviously that wasn't the case because she still had enough energy to heal Tensa Zangetsu after Tsukishima stabbed Ichigo. She still had enough energy to use the Soten Kishun on the sword, so that's not the reason. The other theory is that she was, Ichigo thought it would take too long to heal before coming there. But you'd think, like, you know, there was some time there where they're just kind of sitting around talking. That time could have been spent with, you know, Orihime using it. Just a little bit would have helped. Although it's very odd that Yhwach is curious about this, considering he should have the ability to, see the fucking future! That was the whole point. He's just like, I wonder why Orihime didn't heal you. I mean, I know. I was just wondering if you know that you don't know, because I know. You know? Now, as Yhwach approaches Ichigo, he says something that is probably the funniest goddamn line Yhwach has ever said. And you could just tell by looking at this guy, barrel of laughs right there. He says to him, I thought I made it pretty clear that even if you chased me down, you wouldn't be able to change a single damn thing. You know, at this point, I wonder why Yhwach is even bothering. How many times has Yhwach gone on the whole, despair train with Ichigo? Like, Ichigo, you have no hopes of defeating me, so I'll slam you down myself. Like, he's made a declaration to kill Ichigo probably no less than, 5 times, and the motherfucker's still breathing. Yhwach, for a completely omnipotent, all-powerful god, you kinda suck at killing things. Just a bit. I mean, would Yhwach have any real difficulty in killing Ichigo if he just stopped with the monologuing bullshit and just went for it? I mean, just put on some goddamn Nikes and do it, Yhwach. It's not fucking hard. Just walk up to Ichigo and just be like, okay, I'm gonna stab you now, and then stab him from like 36 different directions. Congratulations, you are now all-powerful. But no, I'm just gonna continue to walk slowly and give Renji ample time to go Bankai behind him! Or, was it really Renji going Bankai? So, Zabimaru! Oh, I wasn't planning on playing Donkey Kong today, but whatevs. Now, Yhwach, prepare to feel the wrath of my completed Bankai! Oh, and by the way, it's based off a baboon, and Donkey Kong's a gorilla. Just thought I'd let you know in the comments below. Fuck! Shit! Damn it! Is that the first time Renji ever lost an arm? I don't know, it's so hard to keep track of characters losing their arms. Or was it really Renji that lost an arm? Did he lose an arm at all? Is the arm even real? I don't know, because Aizen appears to block the shot! Yhwach mentioned it is kind of odd that Aizen is defending Renji. Honestly, I find it odd that Aizen let Ichigo get beaten around for a little bit there. I mean, it doesn't make much sense. At the end of last chapter, you know, Aizen was about to have this big standoff with Yhwach, and then Ichigo and Renji show up, and then this chapter continues on with, like, the battle was, like, a little bit more into the future, where we see Ichigo kind of already beaten down and shit. You know, it's not like, you know, Aizen really had a time to, like, attack from behind. I mean, what the hell was Aizen doing back there? So Aizen activates Kyoka's Suigetsu to make him think that Renji is attacking him, but it's Aizen in disguise. The hell was that? Thought I heard myself talking there, but okay. Okay, I'm so confused right now. Is Renji the one attacking, or was it Aizen the whole time? I don't know. Alright, whatever, let's just continue onward. Aizen jumps into the sky, raises his hand, and activates— Holy shit, Hado number 90! Brace yourselves, bitches! Ah! Goryu Tenmatsu! Oh, holy shit! It's gonna destroy us all! That's it? Really? Hado number 90? Like 5-ring dragon, badass name, and dragon appears out of the ground and roars over Yhwach, and then it just kind of disappears and the ground is just sort of shaking. Okay, what was the highest level Hado before this? Oh yeah, Itokaso. Giant pillar of flames in the shape of a sword that was like, I don't know, a mile high, compared to just like rearranging the floor tiles a bit. Yeah, okay. Well, whatever, we'll go with that. That's probably the highest level Hado we're going to see in the series. I don't think there was any Hados that were over level 100, right? Or Bakudos for that matter. I think they cap off at 99, so, yeah, that's the strongest Kido in the series, offensive-wise, anyway. Hope you, feel as disappointed as I do. Moving on. Alright, so after rearranging the floor, Aizen appears, having his Kyoka Suigetsu appear in his hand. It's actually honestly kind of hard to see if he's using the sword or if it's just the blade coming out of him. I did a video theorizing, like, the evolution of Kyoka Suigetsu a few days ago that I would recommend you go check out. But basically, my theory was that at the end of the fight with Ichigo, you know, back during Fate Karakura, the Hogyoku found it necessary to combine Kyoka Suigetsu's power with Aizen, so he can use the power of the Zanpakuto without actually going into Shikai. You know, it's just part of him. You know, that's how maybe he could affect Yhwach just by looking at him, you know, in the prison. That's how he can mess with Shunsui a little bit. You know, he has the ability, he has the power maybe just by looking at somebody or just hearing them or talking to them. He can affect them with the perfect hypnosis. He could still summon the blade of the sword if he wants, but the power itself is just within him. Along with that, I also want to say he still has the Hogyoku implanted in him, just because it was never referenced, outside of Mayuri saying that he can't die, he's immortal. So if he's immortal, then where's the fucking immortality coming from? Something has to keep him alive. So yeah, I'm gonna say the Hogyoku's still in him. Anyway, Yhwach activates his power to break Aizen's Zanpakuto, and he states that, you failed, your Kyoka Suigetsu has already been broken! So he reaches out and just decks Aizen in the fucking stomach and sends him flying like a mile away. Alright, never thought I'd see that in my life, but let's just go with it. So Yhwach goes to punch Aizen, but whether or not he actually punched him is ambiguous because he activated his hypnosis beforehand. Okay, that's seriously getting annoying. Who the fuck? It's like 2 freaking reviews going on at the same time. What the hell? Alright, so with Aizen kind of out of the picture now, Yhwach just kind of turns around and states that, it's futile. I've already seen you doing that too, Ichigo. And then we see Ichigo there, who also loses an arm. Did Ichigo ever lose an arm? I'm trying to think. I know he got a hole blasted into his chest by Ulquiorra that one time, but I don't think he ever got his arm ripped off. I might be wrong on that. But whether or not, I love this expression on Ichigo's face where he finally realizes that, maybe running headfirst into this battle without actually have really battle plan going on, that might have been a little bit of a shitty idea, just a bit. Actually, let's go back on that little bit. That was the most shittiest idea you've ever thought of, Ichigo. So yeah, Yhwach grabs the sword, it cracks even more. It hasn't broken yet though, so it's still holding on to by a thread. Yhwach states that, Ichigo's plan must have been to ally with Sosuke Aizen, even though Aizen wasn't there and there's no way of Ichigo knowing he was there. I mean, going by that logic, that's like Ichigo popped out of the portal, immediately saw Aizen and came up with this battle strategy, like, oh man, we need to work together with Aizen because he has Kyokatsuigets and his hypnosis might be able to work on Yhwach. That implies Ichigo has any sort of tactical knowledge in the heat of the moment. Like, he's not an idiot, but he's more of a think in the moment sort of guy. He wouldn't be coming up with that kind of idea on the spot. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, Yhwach states that it's futile anyway because Kyokatsuigetsu's hypnosis doesn't work on him. I'm the one, I started with Renji, I plucked his freaking arm off, and now I will defeat you. Remember, nothing escapes my gaze, Ichigo. Little did Yhwach know that something actually did escape his gaze in this chapter when Aizen used his Kyokatsugi. Okay. What the fuck is that? Stop! Jeez! It's like my freaking conscience or something? Okay. Anyway, clearly Yhwach destroys Ichigo's Tensuzangetsu with his hand. It's gone. He states, rest in pieces, Ichigo. And then, BAM! Oh man, he pulls a fucking Ulquiorra. That's what I'm talking about. You could have done that 10 chapters ago and saved us a lot of time, but at least you're making initiative now. Okay, so he just punches a freaking shockwave right through Ichigo's chest, along with the arm he already got ripped off. So Ichigo's pretty dead. I don't see any way of him getting out of this. It's been fun, Ichigo. Actually, it's been horribly boring. But anyway, it's been fun, Ichigo. Your resistance was mildly amusing, I guess. I can put that up on YouTube, get a couple 100,000 views from that. Anyway, the least you could do for me is just to erase your existence along with the Soul Society, as we see Yhwach's shadow and all of his eyes begin to bubble out of the ground that Aizen wrecked with his Hado. And then we see the end of the Soul Society. Yep, that's it, guys. Yhwach wins. Ichigo's dead. Renji's freaking mutilated. Aizen is, a mile away, bleeding in a crater somewhere. And then Yhwach, shadows emerge and reshape the entirety of existence. I expected this to happen, by the way. I called that shit. Da 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 da. Or is it? I see. Oh, what's this now? So, you think you're gazing at Kurosaki Ichigo? Fascinating. Truly fascinating. Care to explain to me what the fuck I'm looking at? Shit, okay. Before you do anything, I should let you know that I totally saw this coming, and, I wanted you to stab me through the heart. Oh, don't worry. This'll only hurt a lot, dipshit! Getsuga Tensho! Boom! Yeah! That makes no sense, but it's awesome! I don't even care! So more than likely, it turns out that, Ichigo's God? Yeah, let's just go with that. Ichigo became God and repaired his sword, because it was clearly broken, repaired his sword, and then replaced himself with Aizen. And then Ichigo stabbed Yhwach and then dealt the finishing blow, Getsuga Tensho, right inside his goddamn body. We don't get to see if, Yhwach is separate, cut in half, but the energy wave is emanating from him. Yhwach is kind of made of this, malleable shadow, so even if he could be cut in half, couldn't he just, piece himself back together? He might be able to do that. Also, something else interesting, when you look at the sword, it doesn't have even the crack on it from the first time that, last chapter that Yhwach shattered it. So it's quite possible that, that maybe he repaired it completely, Ichigo being God and all. So yeah, that's the end of the chapter. Hope you guys enjoyed. Signing out. Okay, so allow me to elaborate what's really going on here. Chances are more than excellent that Renji doesn't appear in this chapter at all, and Ichigo only appeared at the very end. The rest of it, you know, Ichigo at the beginning of the chapter, Renji going Bankai, all of that shit was more than likely just an illusion created by Aizen's Kyoka Suigetsu, which is able to affect Yhwach. It shouldn't come as any surprise there, because we've seen him do this before. When Yhwach was in the underground prison, Aizen was still able to manipulate his perception of time, which for Yhwach, whose whole thing is seeing the future, that's kind of a big deal to affect his, you know, his sense of time. So Aizen, I'm assuming, was the one that used, you know, the distractions with Renji's, you know, Bankai and everything, and at the very end, it was the real Aizen when he got stabbed through, and Aizen this whole time was just trying to get an opening for Ichigo. That does seem a little bit odd for Aizen, but maybe he figured out, like, maybe Ichigo's the only one that can really hurt him, or something. I'm not sure. Maybe Aizen realized that I have the ability to mess with his sense of time, but I don't have the power to take him down. That's only on Ichigo, where I can't do both at the same time. So I'm gonna use my Kyoka Suigetsu to mess with his, you know, perception of time, and then Ichigo is the real Ichigo in the last two pages, and Renji, you know, by that logic, doesn't appear in this chapter at all. Which is good, because otherwise I can imagine him just sitting over there, you know, in the pool of his own blood, being like, oh yeah, that's a great plan you guys thought up. Maybe you could have thought of that before he cut my fucking arm off! But I'm assuming Renji's just kind of, you know, not even doing anything. He's just standing in the background like, what the hell just happened? Yeah. So the whole, you know, Ichigo, his sword breaking, all that shit, that never happened. That was all Kyoka Suigetsu's illusions. They have a leg up on Yhwach now. I'm gonna assume this is not the final, you know, not the final, you know, death knell on Yhwach. It's not like the final attack that takes him down for good. Yhwach is probably gonna actually, I'm seeing a transformation going on. I'm seeing something with Lilia, you know, where Lilia got defeated by Shunsui, and then he turned into like a freaking light owl. Same thing going on now with Yhwach, maybe. You know, Yhwach's, you know, on the ground, like his body's like bubbling away, and he's like, I refuse to be defeated, and then it's like his whole body turns into like this amorphous blob that's like a 10 stories tall with nothing but eyes coming out of it, and then Aizen needs to go Bankai to finish him off, which I've already made a video about that, so go check that out there too. But yeah, it was kind of a brief chapter, sort of, once you take out all the monologuing shit that Yhwach just goes on for like the 50 millionth time. But it's cool that Aizen's back and he's doing his Kyoka Suigetsu stuff again. By the way, the thing where, you know, once again I said where, you know, Kyoka Suigetsu, the power's inside of him, so it's not necessarily like the blade. So when Yhwach shattered the blade, that could either, number one, just be another illusion, or number two, the blade itself could be an illusion, or number three, that the blade did get shattered by Yhwach, but it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter because the power is inside of him. The blade is just kind of like a representation at this point. It's like a normal blade or a distraction. Alright, well, what do you guys think of this chapter? What do you think happened with Aizen's mindfuckery, illusion shit? Was it really the case where, like, Renji wasn't there and Ichigo only appeared at the end, or something else? Maybe you have another theory about Aizen's illusionary powers, but they clearly still exist and they clearly still work on Yhwach. Like I said, go watch this other video to really give you guys a better explanation on, you know, Kyoka Suigetsu and what I think's gonna happen here. Alright, so thanks for watching, guys. This will be Tekking101 signing out. Or is this video even real? Yeah, sorry, you've been watching a blank screen for like the last 20 minutes. Sorry.